Hey, welcome to Resource Prepping. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. I certainly do appreciate your help in overcoming the long censorship, slowing down the shadow banning, everything else by YouTube and Google on this channel. I really appreciate you helping to overcome the censorship. There's something I want to talk to you about because now we are at the very critical stage of conflict between Israel and Iran. I've talked about this for over 2 years now. Now it is a matter of weeks, not months, not years. We are talking weeks before Iran breaks out into a nuclear power and has the capability of putting it on ballistic missiles. Time is now critical and decisions have to be made by Israel and the United States. And let me give you a little background of how evil the Obama administration is with Joe Biden administration, because they're retreads from the same administration that have been absolutely no friends to Israel or its plans. Under the administration of Obama, the United States and Israel were cooperating in having drills, practice runs of destroying the entire nuclear program militarily in Iran, because they wouldn't come to the negotiating table and all this other kind of nonsense. And Israel developed a plan to attack Iran by going through Azerbaijan. They couldn't go through Syria because there was too many radars. It was too long a trip to go with F-18s and F-16s, and they do not have strategic bombers, so the run was far too long. Plus, Iran had its own missile defense system. When Israel relayed those plans to then Blinken and Jake the Snake and all these people, they leaked those plans to Iran to get them to come to the negotiating table and not become a nuclear power. And after Israel found out about that, they were so enraged by the betrayal, they no longer held joint military exercises with the United States, simply because they could not be trusted. Now, under the Trump administration, and Trump has been one of the greatest allies to Israel for a reason, they once again initiated the plans and Trump, with joint cooperation with Israel, they basically said, okay, we won't attack Iran, we'll give you a chance to shut down the money and the oil and bankrupt and cause eternal revolution inside Iran to overthrow the mullahs and everything else. And it was working. But once again, Obama and his administration became reelected with the Biden administration, and they once again put the kibosh on Israel attacking Iran in defense, preemptive strikes on the nuclear, by leaking their plans once again about the two-pronged attack that would take place to destroy Iran. And Biden gave Iran over $10 billion to come to negotiate the nuclear trade, which is a complete laughing joke. And Iran used that money to subsidize Hezbollah. And we all know the results of that, October 7th, which absolutely outraged not only Israel, but the world, because of this foreign policy foul-up and deliberate sabotage of our ally in the Middle East. And these people, I warned them, I warned you, I told everybody that the betrayal of the Democrats and this Democratic administration will take your breath away, and it has. It absolutely has. And now we are weeks away from them having enough enriched uranium and be able to mount it on a ballistic missile with multiple warheads and attack Israel. They don't care about the fallout. They don't care that they're killing Muslims in Israel, and yes, they are. They do not care. They want Israel wiped off the face of the map of the world. Now, in the last multiple attacks, Israel has done a number of things. Israel has wiped out the early warning system radar in Syria, and in this last attack, they destroyed the chemical weapons dump in Syria and have degraded the advanced weaponry, such as long-range missiles, SAMs, and everything else in Syria to keep the rebels, and there are no good rebels because they pledged to wipe out Israel as well, in Syria. The last attack by Israel on Iran against Biden's wishes, against Obama's wishes, and in retaliation for Israel defending itself, they have withheld arms that have already been bought and paid for by Israel, with the capabilities of precision bombing, not only in the Gaza Strip, but also bunker-busting bombs in Iran. Again, another ongoing betrayal by the anti-Semitics in the Biden administration. They truly hate Israel. Now we are at the point of critical mass, at a point of possibly no return. Syria has been overthrown. That was an Iranian ally. Hezbollah, supported by Iran, has signed a temporary truce, but Israel has degraded them so greatly that they no longer have the capability of launching a massive attack. Israel is genius. They've destroyed Hezbollah's leadership and continue to find them wherever they're located around the world and assassinate them. So now Hezbollah is at a point of disarray, which is Iran's proxy. And now Iran has proven itself incapable of launching any kind of effective attack against Israel. Plus, with the tide turning around the world against dictatorships and such, with the election of Trump and his foreign policy saying directly to Benjamin Netanyahu, who, by the way, is standing trial supposedly for bribery and theft in office over $300. He is facing an uphill battle against the self-loathing liberals in Israel. And these people truly are vicious. They hate themselves, they hate their state, and they believe that Israel should not exist, and the people that were slaughtered were on the border of Gaza, an outpost, many of which supported and traded with the Palestinians, believing that by supporting the Palestinian cause, by trading with them, by bargaining with them, they could bring about peace. And what was the result? They were killed just as much as quickly as the other people that did not support and recognized Hamas for who they were. Vicious terrorists and murderers. So now, Benjamin Netanyahu has 2 weeks to decide at this point, with the advanced warning radar systems being destroyed both in Syria and Iran, and that other military sites in Iran have been degraded or destroyed. The feeling inside Iran is saying, do we want to continue on under this dictatorship with our human rights being taken away, people being imprisoned and hung and killed and disappeared, and try to overthrow this government to avoid a war with Israel, potentially a nuclear war? Or do we want to do nothing and allow Iran to become a nuclear power, a destabilization factor in the Middle East, and a wild card in which somebody's going to have to deal with them because they cannot be trusted with nuclear weapons, period. So now we are at a critical juncture that Israel is either going to launch a massive attack to destroy the nuclear facilities once and for all. They've tried cyber attacks, which lasted, which was successful, but it only stopped them for a year. The allies of Iran are Russia and North Korea, China, Syria, Yemen, and that's about it. The allies of Israel is America. And quite possibly, if it goes into a prolonged war, Trump is going to have to make a decision. Do I help with arms and munitions and quite potentially sending boots on the ground, to defeat Iran once and for all? That's where we're at, folks. This is a very critical point in the world history, to allow Iran to become a nuclear power or to defeat them and completely destroy it. And that is going to have to fall to Israel with the aid of American intelligence. Will Biden help them, even though he is a lame duck and on his way out? He will not. He absolutely will not. So Israel's going to go it on alone until Trump takes office, and that's why it is extremely critical that the time is now, and Benjamin Netanyahu and his cabinet are going to have to make a decision. And this will affect the balance in the Middle East. Whatever decision is made, this will affect the balance as to whether Iran goes nuclear and we have to deal with them. They will not negotiate. They cannot be trusted. Or Israel launches a massive attack, spurring, hopefully, an uprising by the Iranian people to overthrow that government with more of a moderate, friendly government. And Israel has been fermenting that sentiment by sending out text messages, radio messages, direct messages from Benjamin Netanyahu saying our fight is not with the Iranian people, but with the government, and to end their tyranny. And that seems to be resonating. Here in the States, anti-Semitism is at an all-time high. Canada has completely gone anti-Semitic, and it is unsafe to be Jewish in Canada at this time. Canada has, under Trudeau, has gone completely bonkers and are attacking Jewish people and their synagogues and their businesses, just like reminiscent of World War II. Where this is coming from, I have no idea. England has flipped and gone anti-Semitic, and it is no longer safe to be Jewish in England as well. The number one name in England is Mohammed now. What does that tell you? Germany has flipped and has gone back to pre-World War II anti-Semitism, anti-Semitic rhetoric. It is escalating, folks. But now is a critical period of time where, while everybody may be singing Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, the people that do not celebrate that holiday are in real danger, and so are we. It is foretold in scriptures about the destruction of Damascus, Israel's enemies, but which also brings about the conflict in the Middle East and potential destruction of Jerusalem. So let's be careful there. Think about it, what's going on, and include prayerful thought for the right decision to be made. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Greg out.